Hello, sisters. Welcome to Rising Feminine Online Temple, which is a 7 days initiation for a woman to journey back to her true essence. I am Jonita D'Souza, your feminine lifestylist and the keeper of this online temple, where I have gathered visionaries from around the world to join forces to initiate you in your authentic feminine. And a big part of my work with women is to invite them to indulge into rituals in their everyday busy lives. So, in this moment, I invite you to create a safe, sacred space for yourself to receive today's offering. We have a special guest today in this temple who has been my teacher and as well as an important part of my initiation, Sofia Sundari. Sofia Sundari is an international Tantra teacher. She writes, coaches, facilitates courses on mystical femininity and Tantric and Taoist sexuality. Sophia invites her students to question beliefs that are deeply ingrained in society but block us from experiencing all of life and being free. These are beliefs about the nature of our sexuality, emotions, relationships, and life in general. This is what most of us believe life and sexuality should be. She offers an alternative to confused mindsets and habits and empowers people to align with their spirit and expand into erotic freedom. Sophia creates a space in which our darkness no longer is shameful, but is actually nourishing our light, where spirituality and sexuality are one. With 5 years in Asia studying the secrets of Tantra and Taoism, and over a decade of training in various healing and spiritual modalities, Sophia has dedicated her life to serving love. Welcome, Sophia.
Thank you, Janita, for such a warm welcome. And yeah, very happy to be here and to speak with you. It's always a pleasure.
Looking at you, I just can't stop smiling. I'm just gonna be like. So Sophia, before we got into this call, I did a small meditation and I pulled up a goddess oracle card, and goddess Cordelia came out for us for our conversation, and which is all about going outside, staying outdoors, and which felt really real for me because I always see you as this person who is always outdoors or in connection with the nature, and so much of my experience with you also taught me that. And I wanted to ask if there is any resonance in this moment with you with this goddess.
Yes, absolutely. And you're so right that I actually, whenever possible, I prefer to be outdoors and nature. And even now, I have a retreat coming up in just a couple of weeks, and it's a priestess training. And maybe when you hear the word priestess, you imagine someone who is, I don't know, staying in these luxurious places, and I don't know, it's like this. I don't know, whatever concepts we have about what is a goddess, what is a priestess, or something maybe a bit disconnected from the world. But actually, no, I believe that the divine feminine is something that's deeply rooted in the world, and Shakti is something that we are genuinely disconnected from. You know, how we are disconnected from nature in the same way we're disconnected from sexuality. And genuinely, we live in those very tall buildings surrounded by metal, surrounded by wires, and all those things they don't provide, they don't allow the energy flow. And I find that this is so unfortunate and so sad because this is exactly what disconnects us from our power.
Yeah, and I think
so
living
yes,
in
of
big
course, I am in nature as much as possible.
Yeah, as you said, living in big cities, you can really feel the difference of living in this concrete buildings and all the glass and the Wi-Fi everywhere. And then when you just disconnect and go to the nature, you can really feel like coming home, kind of, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
we all have that wildness.
Yes. Yes.
Inside that loves to be there, and this is where we really feel life running through our veins when we're in the wilderness.
Yes. So, Sophia, share with us, how did you get initiated into your sacred work?
Well, I used to be a lawyer, actually. and
I cannot imagine that.
it was not yeah, I know it was not the right path for me, but I thought, and I was living in a city myself. I was living in Moscow in Russia, and I thought that that's what that's what you do. You know, you just go to the uni, you get a good education, and you get a good job, you get a good husband, a good car, a good house, and this is what life is about. But it didn't sit right inside of me. I was making money with this, but I was so unhappy, and it was just not right. And every time I would make money, I would go travel, and I felt like I loved to be, moving around and connecting with different cultures and just opening in many ways. But then coming back to the office, it was always a torture. And then eventually I got fired, luckily, even though I didn't feel so lucky at the time. I got really, really depressed actually, and then I felt I had to hit that rock bottom, and then I realized that I have to really change my life dramatically from inside out, and then I kind of discovered accidentally a self-help book, something like self-help, something like The Secret along those lines. That's something that really taught me that I can manifest my reality. And then very quickly after that, I manifested my reality, and I managed to get out of Russia and go travel. And I went to India, and then in India, I felt like I could breathe. I felt that I could get in touch with subtle. I felt like I could get in touch with the mystical realm of life, which I was so craving for and couldn't get in the city where I was living. And then I ended up in Thailand. I continued my travels and I ended up in Thailand. And there I came across a tantric school, which I didn't know. I was not planning it, but I was looking for yoga training because I felt like with yoga they are tapping into something. They're tapping into something called energy, which I was lacking in my life. I was lacking that conversation. I was lacking that practice. I didn't know at the time, and also when I heard about sexuality, I was like, "Oh, what's the thing with sexuality? What can they teach me?" I'm happy about my sexuality. I didn't think I need any improvement, any healing, any education. But then I went, and it was a tantra workshop there happening, and I went there, and my mind was just blown away because what I was learning there were things that I knew deep inside my soul, but I had never had the permission to express them, to speak about them, to even like allow myself to breathe on that frequency. You know? And so that was my initiation, and then I continued and I stayed for years and years, and for 5 years in a row I was practicing a lot. I was every day doing tantric practice in form of yoga, meditation, and sacred sexuality, and singing, and all sorts of things, because tantra is including all of those things. It's an ancient spiritual path which includes all of life and uses all those sacred practices in order to attain deeper level of consciousness, deeper understanding of this world, of this existence. So that's a little bit of my story, and in the last years it happened. I continued. I left that school, but I was teaching there also for a couple of years, but then I left and I moved on, and then I started traveling a lot, also encountering other traditions, deepening into my state consciousness, into my presence through various techniques, and and just deep dives into my own self. And then more and more, as I kept teaching, more and more my own kind of direction started emerging. And so now the result of it is the Sacred Feminine Immersion, which you attended. Now there is a Priestess school, powerful training for women to really remember that priestesshood, which we all actually have inside, but kind of don't have that permission to really step into it. And then also the sacred sexual work with men and women, working with couples and different beings all over the world in form of retreats, online work, and private work.
So I know we wanted to talk about sexual alchemy, sacred sexual alchemy. So who, according to you, needs sexual healing, and why is it important?
Yeah, like I was sharing in my own story, that when I heard about tantra and sexuality, I was like, whoa, it's something to do with sex, and what do they have to teach me? And initially, tantra, of course, it includes sex in some form of it, yeah, not all of it, but some forms of tantra does include sex, and sex is such a powerful energy. It's a basic energy of our being. So when we dive right into that, like, whenever I see successful people, I see how they can be successful because they're very intellectual. Their intellect is very strong, and they are very determined to achieve their goals. But then sometimes I look at them and I'm like, wow, I can just only imagine what would happen to this magnificent being if they really unlock their sexuality, because this is something that can like expand us like nothing else, which will triple every success that we have in life, because we can create something from a place of struggle, from a place of, yes, this is what I need, this is what I'm going to go for, or we can create it from a place of just allowing the truth to flow through us, allowing ourselves to drop into such degree of presence where it's no effort that creates things, but it's actually something, the greatest force there is, that flows through us. So through tantric practices, it's possible, and through unlocking our sexuality, it's incredible what kind of power becomes accessible to us. It's much bigger than anything that we can create or imagine with our mind. And sexual healing, initially, tantra had nothing to do with sexual healing. It was all about cultivating those states of consciousness, cultivating our power, cultivating our alignment and connection with the divine, and ultimately leading us to liberation, to absolute liberation, to enlightenment. And now, lately, we live in the world where we all get traumatized sexually, if directly or indirectly. I feel that everyone actually needs sexual healing, because we have so many ideas which are so unhealthy about sexuality. I've met only maybe, I don't know, 2-3 people in my whole life which have kind of less degree of conditioning about sexuality. Most of us, we received imprints when we were children, when we first started touching ourselves, when we started exploring our genitals. This was one of the first imprints we get. And many people had sexual abuse, which also disconnects them. Some other people, they just heard about something or think that sexuality is something that we need to use to get something that we want. So there's so many screwed up ideas, and the sexual healing, we address all of it. Yeah, sometimes the level of the conditioning, the level of the beliefs. Other times it's really that work with the body, that work where we're really connecting with those places which are connected. I've been numb of that.
So let's talk about the priestess archetype. I know you are looking forward to your priestess school, and we would like to know about what is priestess and who is she?
Yes, I'd love to speak about this. And it's a feminine archetype. It's a powerful feminine archetype, in which the woman is deeply aligned with her truth, and deeply aligned with truth, with the truth. So she lives in the constant communion with the spirit. It's not she's not interested in playing games which we grew up thinking that we need to play. It's like sometimes we grow up and we think that, oh, there's a certain way, especially when it comes to men, yeah, especially when it comes to romantic relationships. We think, okay, how do I make him like me? And then we start playing those games. Okay, let's play a game of not being available, or let's play a game of blaming him so he feels bad about something, and then he kind of, there are also lots of psychological techniques which will help us, kind of create that play, like not being available, even, with this thing, or creating, I don't know, like create like behaving in a way or speaking in a way that makes this other person respond in a certain way. Like there are all those techniques and
Yeah.
tricks, and many people are
Manipulation.
interested in them because they want to attract their beloved. Exactly, but all of this is manipulation, like you say. So the priestess, she is the one who is not interested in that. She is the one who is interested in serving love. She is the one who is interested in serving truth. And she sees bigger. She sees bigger than her personal agenda. And then, of course, when she cultivates a lot of love within herself, and then it's natural that those things are happening, that it's natural that she creates a life that she wants, it's natural that she creates special connections and relations that she wants, because she is aligned with truth. This is the natural outcome of it. You know, it's like many people, they try to hack life, you know, kind of manipulate it, make it useful, make it like adjusted for themselves. But for the priestess, it's not about that. It's about resting in that spaciousness. It's about resting in her bigness. It's about really playing the biggest game possible. So uh, yeah, it's incredibly special. And long time ago, when our society, when it was not the patriarchal society which we're still now living in, but it was a matriarchal society, then women were a lot more in tune with her, and there were priestess temples that were created, for example, in Egypt or in other places in the world, where these were women's priestess temples, where women would come together and that would open those temples to men as well, and they would come together and create those magnificent rituals, and they would honor the earth, and they would honor sexuality as everything so natural for us. But then the society transformed, because also there, you know, if it's also kind of easy to slip into those situations. It's like, oh, I have so much power, okay, what should I do with it? So, you
Yeah.
know, that's why it's like this path is actually only for the very special few who can, when you have that much power, what you're going to do with it? Are you going to be using it to manipulate others? Because that's what happened in the matriarchal society, that they started using men for their strength, for their power. And then the patriarchy came. Yeah, and then patriarchy also doesn't work for us, apparently, because patriarchy disconnects from that, disconnects from life, disconnects from aliveness, from sexuality, controls. So now there is a time for us all to rise for women and to rise for men. It's not that we need to rise and compromise the other gender. It's not that women need to rise and then show men that they are, you know, inferior. No, now is the time when we need to rise together and see that we complement each other. And the priestess, she knows this. Yes, she's the one who would not be manipulating and using her power, but she just lives for love. That's really what is about her. And the sexual part of the priestess, like the sexual practices, they are intrinsic to the priestess, because this is where she really nourishes herself through sexual activation. It's the most powerful way to nourish our ka body, subtle body, which surrounds the physical, kind of permeates and surrounds the physical. And it can become so strong, so paranormal abilities become available to us. So we like really get in tune with the deepest power there is within ourselves, and then we get what we use this power for again. Yeah, so do we use it to create amazing world and create a connection and create love in this world, and cultivate beauty in this world, or we use it to manipulate others, or for black magic, or you know, whatever. So it's a lot about the level of consciousness from where we enter into those realms.
So, for a woman who is being called into learning some of these, what's the path of the priestess? So, how can one who has no idea about this realm of opportunity and a manifestation that is available, how does one get initiated or get started in there?
Well, I feel it's happening. You know, I feel like many women, and actually, even when I speak about those things, or women hear about tantra or the priestess, they sometimes they come and they go like, "Wow, you know what? I have this memory inside or I don't know even if it's a memory or what, but it's something like I resonate. I don't know from where, but I resonate and I feel this is what I'm here for. Like I see the lot now with my Priestess school. Some women, they write to me and they go like, I know this is for me. I know that this is my path. I don't know from where. I never learned anything about this because there's not much information available about this. I'm not surprised. But there are those women who start having those memories. It's like we remember how it used to be. We remember how we used to come together in that power. And it's not so much about our individual strength and power. It's not about individually what we achieve and how special I become and how many men I have around me or something like this. But it's more, what is that we can really do with so much love? So, what is the path? Yeah, it's just merely recognizing it and then just learning to see more about this life, learning to recognize the divine more and more in this world, and learning to like live more, like identify less with our kind of materialistic world, which is just all about consumption and accumulation of goods and like this personal power and the power struggle and like all those dynamics, but more like kind of shifting the focus on the subtle, shifting the focus on the mystical and seeing what's the symbolism of things that are happening, what's the symbolism of synchronicities that are happening in our life, what really happens when we make love, what's the real, like, yeah, like I'm speaking about sexuality because it is the most powerful way to awaken. I mean, in the tantric, I'm a tantrika, so in the tantric path, that's how we see it. That when we use the sexual energy, that's the most powerful way to really activate our true potential. So when we are working with sexual energy, yeah, it can be through lovemaking, or it can be in our individual practices. What really is happening there? Yeah, what really is happening to that subtle body surrounding us? Sometimes all of a sudden you may experience all this light just circulating around the two of you. Yeah, or when if you're doing something by yourself, you can just feel how you stop being the small physical body which you normally identify yourself when you see when you look in the mirror. But what really is happening is that you become so big, where your body becomes big, and it's not that your physical body becomes big, but it's something on the subtle level. It becomes bigger, and it's something that starts to hold more and more light. So of course, energetic practices like yoga and Tai Chi and martial arts, all this is really great to bring awareness, to cultivate that awareness, so that we are something more than what we're used to think of ourselves. Yeah, and then just following up on that, finding teachers that you resonate with, finding guides who can, open some doors, and then it's up to you if you want to walk through those doors or not, and how we show up every day, how we show up in our conversations with our family, with our loved ones, and in the world.
Yeah, a part of my life right now after the immersion that we had in Bali is looking through the eyes of devotion, and this is something that I experienced during your retreat, and also through you, in the sisters around, and inside of me. I didn't know this level of devotion to life existed, and living life every day from that point is such a gift. It's not like all nice and happy after that forever, but I think things become more acceptable, and everything is making you more connected with everything else. And this is the beauty of this work. um, yeah.
Beautiful, yes. Yes, exactly. And then we stop, slowly we stop seeing, stop focusing on only going somewhere where it's pleasant. Yeah, it's like, oh, it's good or bad. We kind of live in this world which likes to divide things into good and bad, positive and
Yeah.
negative.
Yeah.
Yeah, like anger is bad. I don't know, smiling is good or something like this. But
Yeah.
actually, we see that, okay, this is happening. So how can I use this for expansion? How can I use this and see that there is a door to my highest self in every single situation, in every single moment, in every single happening, in every single encounter, there is a gateway to our true self. And this is when we stop labeling it as good or bad. This is when we can really see what is the real mystery behind it. And then just taking a moment, like, don't rush into your reaction, because we're so reactive. Yeah, we learn to react, to defend ourselves. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, if we take a moment and rest in that bigger place, in the place of presence, like, okay, this is coming to my life. Why? What is really the meaning of those things? How can I meet it? What's the standpoint from where I can see it? How can I really open through it?
Yes. So, Sophia, you said that you will be taking us through a guided process. Would you like to say something about that and then just dive into that?
Yes, I'd love to. So I'd love to do a little meditation with you to see if you are resonating with it, to really connect with your inner priestess and to let her come out and invite her into your life. Because actually, I believe that every single woman has her inside, but some women, they just kind of, they're maybe a bit intimidated by her, and some days it might come out as judgment, like, wow, why would I open so much? What if I open so much to a man and then he starts using me or something? Because the thing with Priestess is that she's never holding back her love. That's really her power. And then sometimes we have all those fears coming up. Yes, it's like one of the examples. But in this process, I would love to guide you through connecting with your inner priestess and seeing what she has to tell you. Because there's also no right or wrong about her. It's not that she's gonna be like this. She's just what she does. The body is connected. She is aligned with truth, and from there, it's all how she manifests in different situations for you. Up to you to discover.
Okay,
Okay,
so
ready for
yeah,
that?
yes.
Okay, so then let's close the eyes and sit comfortably. And so now just observe your inner state. Maybe you feel a bit overwhelmed. Maybe it's a lot of information. So I want you to drop all of this. Drop everything that is happening after the call. Just come to that place of emptiness and connect with your body. And you can also place one hand over your heart in the center of your chest and another hand on your lower belly. And start breathing a bit deeper. If there's any tension in your body, then you can just kind of move into that tension actually and relax. Just kind of sway your back, sway your spine, open up your neck a bit. Relax your muscles, relax your shoulders, relax your neck, relax your belly, relax your pelvic floor. And from this place, I want you to align with something that's called the central channel in your body. So it's a channel, the major energetic channel that runs from your perineum, from the base of your body, up to the top of your head, in the center of your being. So I want you to visualize that. So starting from your root, imagine there is a wand of light. So just visualize how it's rising from your root, your belly, to your solar plexus, your heart, your throat, your head, and all the way to the top of your head. And we will just start breathing along that central channel. So you will inhale and visualize that light from the base going all the way up top of your head. And with exhale, just bringing it down. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Just continue in your own time and also observe the central channel. See if you can see a color. Maybe you feel certain vibration, certain radiance of the central channel. Now I want you to just feel into what does it mean to be a priestess? What does it mean for you to be a priestess? See, be very, very attentive now. If there are any images, any impressions that are coming to you. What does it mean to be a priestess? And what is your inner priestess like? How much is she showing up in your life? Are you giving her space in your life? Or does she feel a bit suppressed? Remember that the priestess is really that biggest part of your feminine. She's so big, it's even hard to label her. Even a priestess, this word even becomes too small for her. But just tune in how she manifests in your world. Where do you feel her? How does she, is she present in your family? Is she present when you are with your loved ones? Is she present in your bedroom when you're making love? Do you give her space there? Is she present in your home or at work? Where in your life would you bring more the light of your inner priestess? She's the one who loves, who cares. She's the one who sees the true essence of all things. Sees the divinity behind everything. Are you hiding from the world, or are you letting the world see her? You can visualize yourself as fully embodied priestess. How does it feel in your body? How does she hold herself? And you can ask yourself, your priestess self, what do you want for me? Just be attentive. What does she have to tell you? What do you want for me? Just pay attention. Maybe you can hear words, or maybe you will have colors, or maybe it's a certain feeling in your body. Just be present. Just and I want you to remember this. Remember this state of being that you're experiencing right now. Remember this answer that you felt or heard, and see where in your life you're ready to bring more of this light, of this love, of this presence. And what is the one step that you can do today to allow your inner priestess to shine? You might feel that you need some more healing, something to heal, something to let go of. This might be a step. Or you might feel that you need to start showing up more publicly, sharing what you believe in, what you believe is true. Or maybe you want to bring in and show your loving heart to those close to you. Maybe it's more silence in your life. This might be a step. Because the priestess, she is nourished in silence and nature. Maybe going into nature is a step that you can take today to connect with you, to hear, to listen. What does your body have to tell you? What does nature have to tell you? What does life have to tell you? To make this inner commitment for yourself. Allow your interest to rise in this world. It's not only for you. Remember that. This is for this whole world. Because the world cannot wait for your magnificence to be fully revealed. Okay, and take a deep breath. Whatever you're feeling, it's yours. It's going to be there for you. I encourage you to write it down, to write down any impressions you got. And now just in your own time, when you want, you can gently open your eyes. Come back.
That was very nourishing. I had the color of red come out, and my inner priestess told me to wear something red and go and watch the sunset tonight. And I'm thinking that yes, it's a nice day in London. Like, it doesn't really happen very often. I should really do that later on.
I love it. Yeah, do that and see what happens. See where it brings you. See that place that you end up in, and why. You know, sometimes there's this even, I come to certain places and I'm like, why am I here? Spirit, tell me, what brought me here? And then, if we don't rush into decisions and reactions, then okay, I'm here. Something brought me here. Let's see what's going to happen. And then always something comes out of it, and then I realize why it was important.
I'm so looking forward later to do this. amazing. So
Beautiful.
I need to come back to our conversation right now. um, so, Sophia, you also have some amazing gifts for the women watching today. Would you like to say something about it?
Yes, I believe I'm happy to gift you my book,
Yeah.
my little guide, which is called the Orgasmic Guide, which is offering 9 very specific steps that you can take to open up to full body orgasmic potential. And the orgasm is something that is incredibly nourishing for our priestess self, for like just it's something that really awakens our light body, and this is something that really makes us more radiant in the world. But actually, it also, what's most important about this is that it gives more of that platform for our spirit to land and to guide us through life. So go ahead and download it,
Yes.
and
Yes.
I hope you enjoy it. I'm in the process of writing my book, actually, which is all about orgasms, but
All
this is a
right.
little taste of that.
Yeah, and I will have the link to this free book below the video. So the women watching can just click on the link and access Sophia's free book. So, Sophia, to end the call, I want to ask you one question that I've been asking every single guide in this online temple. What does rising feminine mean to you?
So can you repeat, please?
Yes. So, what does rising feminine mean to you?
Well, to me, it means something that I very much commit my life to, something that I feel is so important for this world right now, that the feminine awakens, the feminine feels safe, the feminine feels that it is welcome here in this world, because this is something that will bring more love, more healing, more flow, more freedom into this world. Because the world is to a large degree now conditioned by structure, by control, by achievement, by accomplishment. And when we give rise to the feminine, I feel like we give rise to life itself. And this is when we can really, really start truly living. So I am very excited that you are doing this work, and very grateful for that, and for all other women and men who are giving rise to the feminine in a way or another. Some through work, others through their way of being.
Hmm.
But this is something that's healing this world, and it's so beautiful that it's happening more and more.
Thank you, Sophia, for your time and your generosity to give us this offering and guide us through this process. I've been really grateful for all of your teachings in the past and today, and I'm also always looking forward to what you show up and bring more into this world. So thank you so much for being you.
Thank you for acknowledgement.